Hi, I'm Chris Condon with John Green Commercial. I've been a commercial real estate broker for the last 17 years, primarily focused on Wil County. Born and raised in Wil County and focused on it on a day-to-day basis. I'm lucky enough today to be sitting here with John Grueling, the president and CEO of the Wil County Center for Economic Development. He's been there since 2001, and during his tenure has seen amazing growth and developments in the area and has been involved in most of them either directly or indirectly. I personally know why Wil County makes so much sense for business, but really wanted to get it from John as to what's going on and why Wil County makes sense and kind of what's next for the area.
Sure. Yeah.
What's going on in Wil County and why does it make sense, John?
Well, obviously we've had a tremendous growth spurt here in the last 20 years.
Incredible.
All across the board in terms of commercial, industrial, housing, one of the fastest growing communities in the Midwest for the last 20 years. But really our natural location is probably our biggest asset.
Right.
Proximity not just to the Midwest, but the whole Chicago market is a big draw for companies that we work with. But by far, our transportation assets are really what make the difference in terms of competing with other locations in the Midwest. It's really hard to beat 5 interstate highways, 6 of the 7 Class 1 railroads. We talk about underground utilities, like we have 1,500 miles of gas pipelines underneath Wil County. And of course, the inland waterway. So natural location, man-made assets, and then proximity to the Chicago market. But, the other features of Wil County is that we've got a lot of land, a lot of available land for development that's under development. We have very competitively priced development projects, and our taxes are low. I mean, that's one of the biggest selling areas within the region is the fact that our property taxes are amongst the lowest in the Chicago area.
Yeah, every time Cook County starts talking about raising taxes, I get a flurry of calls for the next few weeks looking for opportunities and properties out of Wil County.
And it's the beauty of being in a metro area because there's a lot of companies that are already here, and it's nice to bring new companies in. But when we can appeal to somebody that's already doing business in this part of the country, in this part of the state, and for one reason or another, antiquated facility, maybe cost of doing business, they start looking around. Wil County is probably one of the best options to stay in the Chicago metro area, as you know.
Right. With all the growth and development that Wil County has seen in the last 20 or 25 years, even 30 years or so, what's next? How much more can come here? How much more is coming here? What's kind of your crystal ball of the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, the good news is we see a lot more coming. One big thing that's happened over the last period of time for us is the migration of transportation, distribution, and logistics companies and their support services coming into the county. With the nature of the global supply chain today, Wil County really is at Main in North America. So what we've seen over certainly the last 10 years since the recession, we're going to see more of the same. The biggest news for us is about $2 billion of new investment in local infrastructure over the next 5 years.
Yeah, that's huge.
The majority of it coming from the state of Illinois. We're getting 10% of the total state allotment for that project and almost a third of the entire Chicago area. We're rebuilding I-80. We're building new connectors to the intermodal centers. We're going to be looking at big projects on I-55. Our main corridors essentially are going to get a remake.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to encourage more investment. We're already seeing projects that we're waiting on. Okay, what's going to happen with I-80? When are we going to be able to look at a better modern road there? And even since the announcement of the funding available, we've seen a lot more interest in that particular corridor. So I really think, we're high on the list of private investment, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Population is still growing, not as fast as it was. The other thing that really is a great advantage for us is proximity to workforce.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably the number one issue that businesses are facing today. And our access to literally a pool of 11 million people in this part of the country, we can prove out the labor force question.
Excellent. One last question.
Sure.
Somebody's looking to relocate to this area. What resources does CED have available to kind of help them with that process and find a home here?
Well, as you know, I mean, we're a great information source.
For sure.
Everything from sites and buildings to utility locations, the capacity of an area, a community to handle certain types of development. We also provide guidance. We like to consider ourselves a one-stop shop for companies that are looking not just for a new location, but looking for a community that makes sense to them. We'll get a call from somebody, asking, well, would Joliet be open to this kind of development? And, I'll say, let's go talk to the mayor.
Right.
So we can provide that sort of access.
Right.
And that's really important. And I think that gives companies and investors a real comfort level that, okay, this is a place I can do business.
Right.
And, we have access to business incentives and plans that communities are making, telecommunication corridors and whether or not that street light's going to be in place over the next year or so. Those are sort of insider information pieces that we have.
Right.
And I think it really makes the business expansion process and the decisions that go behind that a lot easier.
No, I appreciate that. You guys have been absolutely outstanding to work with over the years, and I appreciate all the help that you've given us and my clients and all of that. So
well, let's do some more business.
yes, for sure. I wanted
All right.
to thank you for your time. I appreciate it. If there's anything I can do to help you or John can do to help you, please get in touch with us. We'd love to do what we can. Thanks.